Our next speaker is Noam Angrist, who's a junior at MIT in mathematics and economics. He's the co-president and co-founder of Amphibious Achievement, a dual athletic and academic mentorship program for urban youth. In addition, Noam currently studies healthcare economics with Professor Jonathan Gruber. He's the head crew coach for the Riverside Boat Club Freshmen, a coordinator of the Freshman Urban Program, and vice president of Sloan Business Club. Noam will talk about a personal struggle which inspired his passion for education and how he has taken a novel do-now approach at his career at MIT. Noam Angrist.
How's it going? Okay, I'm going to do something a little interactive. So today I'm going to talk to you. Is this loud enough? I'm used to yelling because I coach crew, so tell me if I'm yelling at you. So today I'm going to talk to you about what it means to take a do-now approach to learning. So I'm going to put you through an exercise. I want you to turn to your neighbor, and I want you to talk really loud. Make a lot of noise. Not yet. Not yet. I'm going to count down from 10. And when I get to 0, I'm going to say Z-E-R-O. And then I want you to clap like this. And this is going to be challenging for me with this clicker, but yeah. So that was a practice round. Okay, good. And then you're going to look up. Ready, set, go. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Z-E-R-O. That was pretty good. Now, why did I just do that? First, it was fun to watch, and I heard some interesting conversations over here. But more importantly, I just simulated what it means to take a do-now approach to learning. I pulled you from an unproductive and unfocused state to one of attention, to one of attention and curiosity. How did I do that? I gave you an action and then a clear end goal. You were to clap and then look up. Now, this is exactly how I engaged Enrique in the KIPP Charter School in New Orleans. And there's another way to engage them, too, these students in the charter schools. They're called do-nows. And do-nows engage students mentally the way I just engaged you physically. Let me explain. This is a do-now. You walk into a charter school, and within 5 minutes, every student has their head buried in this 5-minute standardized test. This is a do-now. It engages students. That's one thing it does. It provides them a mechanism to test their understanding independently. And it allows you to have a measure for tangible improvement in the future. Now, as an aspiring education buff, I'm going to use this example to talk about how I have taken a do-now approach here at MIT. So when I came to MIT, I wanted to do things now. So I'm going to say that word a few times. Do now, do now, do now, do now. And I wanted to coach crew. And it wasn't clear that was going to be possible. Hold on one sec. I'm going to use my smartphone. Technology these days. Let's see. My philosophy at MIT has been to open all the doors and take advantage of every single opportunity and let the best opportunity come to fruition. And some of my friends have heard this before, and they just deem it another Noamism. But I'll hold my ground, and I'll say, don't knock it till you try it, and make sure you try it all. And indeed, I've tried to try it all. I've done research here in healthcare for 2 years with Professor Jonathan Gruber. I worked at the White House, and this summer I'm going to be working at the World Bank for the lead education economist. I even tried Taekwondo. Keyword there being tried. Not very good, though I do have a good high kick. And I've coached crew at a local boat club for 3 years. Now, it's not clear how some of this is relevant to my career ambitions. Maybe my major is math and economics and some of the research I've done since I want to get a PhD in economics. But coaching crew for 40 to 60 hours a week? And Taekwondo, not so much. But I did it anyway. And I loved every second of it. It's ironic. I go to one of the most technical schools on earth. But those least technical pursuits have inspired me the absolute most. Especially crew. Because it taught me that I love to teach. And it taught me that I'm better at teaching high school students how to solve a simple system of equations than solving a more complicated system myself. I'm good at transferring skills to others. I discovered this passion through an unfortunate injury, an unexpected injury. I was an avid rower in high school. These are erg machines, by the way. They're quite painful. And I worked pretty hard. I wasn't a natural at it, but I worked really hard and I became captain. But one summer, the summer of my senior year, I worked too hard. And I remember I was in the gym doing a bicep curl, and all of a sudden I heard my arm pop. And I stretched it out, and it made it worse. And the next day I rode 15,000 meters for a crew race, for a crew fundraiser. And that made it worse, as you can imagine. And so I made a doctor's appointment. I thought it was a pulled muscle. And Dr. Ferrulo said, I have some bad news. You have a blood clot in your right subclavian vein. And if the clot metastasizes, you could die. And I would need to get my first rib removed. This one. The first thing that came into my mind was the name of the clot was pretty cool. Paget-Schroeder syndrome. Sounded kind of French, kind of fancy. The second thing I thought of was, there goes my rowing career. I'd worked hard, there it goes. The truth is, that blood clot is the best thing that ever happened to me. I went back to the crew team after 3 weeks of being in the hospital. And I wouldn't quit, but I wouldn't stand around and do nothing. So instead, I decided to coach. And within 2 weeks, the high school freshman boys that I was coaching improved dramatically. And I was asked to come back and coach full-time when I matriculated to MIT. Now, my peers and my family and my friends, they said, you don't go to MIT to coach crew. Who goes to MIT to coach crew? As an undergraduate? No way. You got to learn, and then you can make an impact. I disagreed. So I coached crew. I coached crew because I don't want to wait 4 years to implement my ideas. And believe me, I have ideas. I actually have 50 pages, front and back, filled with ideas, very small font. And I wasn't going to wait to do something now, to maybe change someone's life now. So I did coach crew. I researched the stroke for hours every single day. And I mastered the art of motivational yelling. Easier said than done, by the way. And I expected my rowers to be rowers on and off the water. That meant good comportment and deportment. Sitting up tall. Now everyone sits up tall in the audience. And saying hello to your teammates in the hallway, the school hallway. When I obtained the title of Coach Noam, I was just a freshman in college. In high school would be impressive. And parents doubted that I could deliver. And the other coaches smirked when my rowers were still rowing on the square when the other teams had been doing the most advanced feathering for weeks. But I honed in on technique and team dynamics. I thought that was important. And my rowers' hard work paid off. Both my boats won gold at state championships. And it was the first time that team had won gold in almost a decade, making it even sweeter. It was awesome. And the next year, they asked me to come back. And again, both my boats won medals at state championships. Dramatic effect. Super dramatic effect. So that was good. And it's funny. I never even medaled as a rower, but I'm damn proud that my rowers have medaled twice. And it didn't stop there. I now had coached. I knew I loved to coach. I loved to teach. And I saw what sport could do for youth. They were more disciplined, harder working, more successful in all aspects of life. So I brainstormed with my good friend Ron Rosenberg. We brainstormed for half a day. That's a long time. Nonstop, no food, no drink, nothing. Half a day. And that day, we conceptualized what came to be known as amphibious achievement. Ron came up with the name. Amphibious achievement? That's too long. No, that's amazing. Success in and out of the water. That's what it's all about. Like an amphibian. And we agreed. Swim. Row. Learn. And we've come a long way. We started with just a few achievers, that's what we call our students, and a few mentors. And now, we have 30 MIT mentors and 45 achievers. We've raised $40,000 in funding. And our achievers' athletic times have improved dramatically. Some data here, future economist. Each point, the bottom one, the darker one, represents where the achiever started. The one above it represents their PR, personal record. Everyone has improved. Everyone. Every single achiever. Some less, some more, but everyone improved, and that was huge. And 2 weeks ago, we got our achievers, the rowers, out on the water. We never conceptualized that. That was impossible. That wasn't going to happen, but it did, and that's a real photo. And that was huge. And our achievers blew us out of the water again. On their SYS, show yo skills with a Z, another word for a diagnostic, more friendly, our achievers improved 16% on critical reading scores. The education literature says it's almost impossible to improve in critical reading. It looks like we might have defied the odds and done it. And we've defied the odds in another way as well. We've become a second home for our achievers. I'm going to tell you a story. Just last week, the John D. O'Brien School released report cards. Zayu called me, he's an achiever, and he said, I got 4 A's and 1 B. That was huge. That was awesome. What was more awesome is that he called me first. Denise Peguro, a veteran achiever, got accepted to college this year. She got accepted to Providence College, College of the Holy Cross, and BU. That was awesome. What was more awesome is she called us right away. And when she decided to go to College of the Holy Cross, she let us know via text within seconds. That was huge. We're promoting a culture of achievement. We've become a second home. Now, coaching is not so random. Now it's not a tangent. Now, my non-academic pursuits not only rely, but they hinge on my academic passions. I've experienced nutrition. I've experienced health. I've experienced education. It's because I took an opportunity. I did something now. I did something now because I wanted to. Do something now because it's engaging. That's what do nows do for high school students. And that's what doing now did for me when freshman physics could not, as Anjali pointed out. Do something now because it allows you to test your skills independently. That's what I did when I decided to coach and co-launch the program of my dreams. Do something now because it allows you to build on observed success. That's what high school students do when they get a question wrong and then get it right later. And that's what I did when I discovered what I want to do research on for the rest of my life. Not because of an economics course, but because I coached and I loved to teach. I did it. Do something now because now is the time to do. So I have a question for you. How many times have you said no to an opportunity because you thought it wasn't relevant enough? How many times have you said no to an opportunity because you thought it wasn't important enough? And how many times have you said no to an opportunity that could have changed your life? So now I'm going to do an exercise. I want you to turn to your neighbor, different from before. And we're going to do the ZERO. Ready, set, go. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. This is my megaphone. ZERO. So I wasn't sure if you were going to clap, so I decided to coach you from the beginning. Thank you. Yeah.